Welcome to Nattys Crafts. I'm Natalie. I always do all the crafting. And today is Try It Tuesday. So let's go ahead and get crafting. So both crafts are from Bonnie Blings. She had a tower block video she did, and so both of my crafts today are from that video that I will link down below. So this first one, we are going to make a little tray for my bathroom. I have a tray where I put my jewelry and everything, but I need another tray on the other side of the sink for the, the cup, the toothbrush cup and the toothpaste and that kind of thing. I need a tray for that. So that's what we're going to make here. So we are going to make 3x3 sized squares. Does that make sense? Each square is going to be 3 blocks by 3 blocks. So 12 blocks total to make this square. So that's what I'm doing here, is just creating those blocks. And I'm using wood hot glue. Of course, this would be a lot stronger if you were able to use just regular wood glue. I don't have the patience nor the time to do that, so I'm doing it this way. Now, to make the inside of the tray, it had this really cool design on it, and so we are going to have to cut a few tumbling towers. This was some of the most difficult things I've ever had to do before. What I ended up doing was taping the block to the miter saw holder thing, and then holding it as well, but basically taping it so it doesn't mess around so much or move around so much. And then we're going to cut through. Now, Bonnie did mention that there are some blocks that are easier to cut. She said the ones that feel lighter are easier to cut. I didn't figure that part out, so, whatever. And then we're just going to put it together. So I'm making squares, basically, so you're going to have to cut some blocks in order to make the squares the right sizes. Now, the size of your tray will determine how big these cuts need to be. And I wish I would have bought the little small saw from Amazon or Temu or wherever that thing is that everyone was talking about a while back, because this was difficult. But once you've got it all put together, I'm just going to put some feet on the bottom. And those feet were simply the small wood squares you get from Dollar Tree. And so I glued all of those pieces together, all of the pieces that I cut and didn't cut, glued them all together to make this pattern. And then I'm just going to use some paint mixed with water for a fake stain, so it will dry very fast and it will end up being a color I like. Now, I am going to have to end up going back and painting this black because the other tray in my bathroom is black, which I didn't think about when I was making this, but I do want them to match each other, obviously. But when you're doing this, there are the little crevices that you have to get into and paint. So here it is, and I think it's adorable. It is strong enough to hold everything. I did use Mod Podge to protect it, so that if it gets wet, it won't be the end of the world. It will still work. And this is a part of Unicorn Dust Designs Try It Tuesday. Sammy does this collaboration every month, the last Tuesday of the month. So make sure to check it out. The next one, again, is from Bonnie Blings, and it is going to be just a wall decor piece. You could probably make this into a tray as well, but I'm using it as wall decor in my kitchen. I had a very specific spot that I needed to fill, I had an old item that I made a while back. I just wanted to refresh it and make something new, so that's what we're going to do here. Now, I'm one of these crazy people that have to have the blocks all match. So that's what I was doing there, was separating them out by how they looked. Some blocks have a lot of stripes, others have none, blah, 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 so I was separating those out. And then we're just going to make small squares. We're going to make 12 of these small squares. And again, I'm using wood hot glue. It'd be best if you used regular wood glue, because of course it would be stronger. And so I decided, as I was putting this together, I decided, because all of the blocks that I was putting in these squares were similar, I decided to make a pattern out of the way the blocks look. So the blocks or the squares that have all of the stripes on them are going to go down the middle of my decor, and then the other ones are going to go along the sides. You can barely tell the difference, but I can see it. So here are my 12 sets of squares, and then we're going to need to glue them together. So for this, we are basically going to glue the edges together. And it is just going to be at the very corners where you're going to glue them together. And you do want to make sure, with all of this gluing of the wood, do make sure that you take off any of the glue that might ooze out, because that will of course prevent it from being stained, or it'll look weird if you paint over that. There'll be a little bump, so we don't want that. So be sure to remove any glue that oozes out of the sides. So we're just going to glue these all together. There's going to be 4 rows of 3 squares is how it ends up being. So here's the last one. And then I did want to put some support. This is going to be hanging in my kitchen, so I don't want it to just fall off the wall. So I'm using these small popsicle sticks from Dollar Tree to add some support. And we're literally just going to trim them off so that they're straight, because they have rounded edges, of course. So we're going to trim those off to make them straight. And then we're just going to hot glue these onto the back of my decor. And basically just hiding them and covering the seams that are in those blocks. And then once we've got all that done, then I'm going to go in and stain it. I'm using the same color that I used for the other project. So again, it's just brown mixed with some water. And the more brown you put, obviously the darker it'll be. Mine was fairly light. It's not nearly as yellow as it looks while it's drying. It does become much lighter. And again, with this one as well, you have to make sure you get all the crevices on the inside. And this is how it'll look when it's all done. And this is how it looks hanging up in my kitchen. I think it's adorable. It fills the spot that I needed perfectly. And I was going to put a clip on there to hang, like, you know, like a menu board or something like that. But honestly, I'm never going to use it like that. So I just left it plain. And I thank you so much for stopping by Nattys Crafts today. Be sure to give the video a big thumbs up, leave a comment down below, and go ahead and subscribe. Remember, when you subscribe, you should always hit the bell so you know when the next video comes out. And be sure to go down below and visit Sammy from Unicorn Dust Design, her site or her channel, as well as the full playlist, so you can see everyone else that's on this great playlist that Sammy does every month. So I thank you again so much for stopping by. Remember to appreciate today, as tomorrow is never promised. Y'all have a great one.